excited that all of you are here, and I'm a little bit sad that it's necessary. I am Lisa Bardach. I am a speech-language pathologist, and I work at least part-time for ALS of Michigan. Can you guys in the back hear me?
Yes.
Okay. If there is no answer, then I was going to have to talk louder, which I can. I help people communicate throughout the entire stage of this disease. What we're going to talk about this evening is using your eyes to communicate. And we're going to talk about some low-tech methods and some high-tech methods. I'm also going to be showing you some videotapes. I'm going to be doing a couple of demonstrations. I'm going to introduce you to a gentleman who's been using eye gaze for quite a variety of things for a while, who's going to tell you a little bit about his own experiences. And then anybody who wants a chance to try some stuff, we're going to try it out. I am very pleased this evening to be joined by Jennifer Walters, the local rep for Tobii Dynavox, and Gus Story, the local rep for LC Technologies. And Judy Fortuna is in the back in the kitchen. Judy is one of our patient services coordinators. You may know her if you take advantage of our respite care program, or if you've called the office for answers to anything or equipment. Judy is a godsend to all of us. So, here we go. You guys are probably going to have a lot of questions. Don't be shy, okay? If anything occurs to you, ask, and I'm going to try to answer everything. So I want to talk a little bit about what eye gaze is, because when we're talking about eye gaze for communication, we're talking about expressive eye gaze. And the truth is that most of us who are able to talk, we use our eyes receptively. We use our eyes to bring in information. And this is a very different process than using your eyes to try to actually physically do something with them, okay? So think about the idea that there's an invisible something coming out of your eyes as if you're moving and touching. So let's say, for example, that you had a touch screen on a computer or on a tablet, your iPad, your whatever, and you reach out and touch it and it does things. So what eye gaze is enabling us to do is actually physically do that touching using infrared technology. The way I'm going to talk about how high-tech systems work later. I want to start with the low-tech stuff because it's important too. Low-tech refers to things that don't need batteries, don't need to be plugged in. They're very simple, they're quick and dirty. Everybody needs low-tech. Everybody uses low-tech. Anybody want to know where the bathroom is? That's low-tech, okay? And there are men's, women's, and a unisex restroom out that door in the back too, just in case you didn't know, okay? What do I think about certain political figures? That's low-tech, okay? And we do it all the time. It's nonverbal communication. We use low-tech frequently to tell yes and no. And we can even do that if the head doesn't move, okay? For somebody to be able to say yes, all they need to be able to do is have some consistent gesture. So whether it's nodding my head, putting my thumb up, picking up my shoulder, smiling, making a noise, if I can do that consistently, then I have a way to say yes. And because ALS generally leaves cognition intact, there's nothing wrong with your intelligence, then for someone like you, not saying yes is equivalent to saying no, okay? What I tell people when they get to a point where they're unable to communicate and we need to get a good yes, no, a lot of times, how many of you have had somebody suggest, well, why don't you blink? Blink once for yes and twice for no. Okay, that can work. I'm not real fond of that as a method, and the reason is because people blink anyway. Okay, we have to blink. We blink to lubricate our eyes, we blink to get sun out of our eyes, we blink to get darkness. And sometimes it's hard to tell when you're blinking if you're doing it on purpose or you're doing it to communicate. Eye movement is generally preserved in people with ALS. So I always tell people, look up for yes, because nobody looks up at the ceiling unless they really want to. So if you're looking for a way to say yes, look up. You can look down for no. That helps. It makes it clearer. Then the person's not wondering, did they not look up, or are they saying no, or did they not hear me, or did they not get it, or it's good to have, okay? We can also use another way of communicating. So, what color do you like better? Red or green? He's looking over here, he likes green better. Doesn't matter what choice I use with that. Do you want to do something? Yes or no? Okay, and then I can look, and that makes it really clear and it separates it out. That's low-tech nonverbal communication. I can use it for making choices with two. I can use it for making choices with several things. We're gonna go for a drive tonight. Do you want to go to the park? Do you want to drive through downtown? Do you want to drive on the highway? Or do you want to just stay home? I'm going to run through those choices again. Look up when I get to the one you want. Okay? Low-tech ways of being able to do something. I can even use it for spelling. How many of you are familiar with alphabet boards? An alphabet board is nothing more than a bunch of letters on a piece of paper. So an alphabet board is a bunch of letters on a piece of paper. This is my extra fancy one because it's got colors. Don't have to have colors. Could use it if you were colorblind. But by using that looking up gesture, or maybe it's that closing my eyes. If you have to use eye blinks, just make sure that you close your eyes longer than you would normally blink them for. And I can have somebody spell something out for me just by using this and having someone help me out with a technique that's called partner-assisted scanning. And what that means is I'm the communication partner and I'm going to help with scanning through it. So any of you who've seen any of my presentations before, you know that there's audience participation in them and you don't always get a choice about that. So, are you still able to eat, sir? Yes. Okay, so you can't talk right now, I'm sorry. You're gonna get your speech back in just a minute, but for the moment, I'd like to do a demonstration. Do you have a favorite dessert? Look up if you do. He doesn't like dessert. Okay, that's okay. Can you think of something that you like to eat? All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go row by row, and what's your name? Bob is going to look up when I get to he's going to spell this out for me. He's going to look up when I get to the row that he wants. So is it in this green row, the first letter? Is it in this yellow row? Is it in this top? Oh, go back to the top. Is it in this green row? Okay. Does this start with A, B, C? He looked up. So we're talking about something, are we talking about a dessert?
No,
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. We're talking about a dessert that starts with C. Guesses? Cake. Are you talking about cake?
Yeah.
Wow, that was easy. Where's my staple gun? Okay. Doesn't take a lot of effort, quick and dirty. High tech is great stuff. It's not so helpful if you have to set it up at 3 o'clock in the morning because something's wrong. Okay? This is a lot easier. It's a lot easier in the car. These things don't go in the car so easily. They can, and there's ways to do that. But it's not so easy. And the low-tech stuff is quick and dirty, and there's a lot of places to use it. There's also something called E-Tran. That's a fancy shortened form for eye transcribing. Okay? Basically using your eyes to do a bunch of things. So the thing about a board like this is that you need a partner to be able to go through the rows. It's hard to just look at something. Well, I use a lot of eye gaze boards in my practice. I'm going to show you some different ones. So just a minute ago I said that you could say yes and no with your eyes. But it's also possible that you're someone like me and yes and no just doesn't give you enough options. So here my options are yes, no, don't know, maybe, ask another way, and don't care. Because based on the question, I might want any one of those answers. I'm really kind of a stickler for at least 4, yes, no, don't know, and maybe. Okay, because again, remember, intelligent people, nothing wrong with your brains. So you want to be able to communicate that. I'm holding a piece of paper behind this so that you can see it. But if I take away the piece of paper, you will see that it's transparent. So that means that I can look through it and see where somebody's eyes are. So, I'm pulling out a chair because, what's your name?
Meg.
Meg and I, this is the first time in my life that it's happened with somebody who's over 12, but I'm taller. So I'm going to sit down because when you're doing eye gaze, you want to be even with somebody when you're doing this low-tech stuff. Okay? Because otherwise, when you have things around the periphery, it can be hard to tell where you're going. Do you want to talk about the election? No. Okay. End of conversation. Again, that was easy. Have you decided who you're voting for? No. Okay. Not asking any
I
more?
guess I could have looked at that one.
No, but think about the way I phrased that question. She's pointing to don't know. Okay, so I didn't say who were you voting for. If I said who were you voting for, don't know would be a good answer. But I said, have you decided? I really asked a yes/no question. Okay? And that's something to think about when you ask people questions. What are you asking and what are you expecting as an answer? Do you want coffee with cream and sugar? No. Do you like coffee? Yeah? Let's come over and use the eye gaze board. Excellent. Do you like coffee? No. Okay, that's why he doesn't want it. I don't want coffee with cream and sugar. I love coffee. I don't like cream in it, and I don't like sugar in it. I want it black. So if I say, do you want coffee with cream and sugar, I've asked you 3 questions. Do you want coffee? Do you want cream in it? Do you want sugar in it? So when you're asking somebody questions, think about what you're asking and try to make sure that you're only asking one thing. And if it takes the person a couple of minutes to answer, make sure you don't ask another question on top of that. Because if you do, or maybe I should say when you do, because it happens to all of us. When you do, you get an answer and you don't really know which question that answer went with. Okay, so things to think about when you're asking for information. I can do all kinds of things on low-tech boards. This is another one. I'm showing you the paper piece because I didn't put them on my slides. It's got yes and no. It's also got hungry, thirsty, tired, bathroom, TV. This is a basic needs. Okay, how did I do this? I got on my computer, I drew a couple of squares, I typed in some words, and I printed it. Then I went to Office Depot, Office Max, Staples, pick your office store, and I bought some transparencies, and I stuck them in the copier, and I copied it onto a transparency. Voila, I have an instant eye gaze board. Okay? Doesn't cost a lot of money, they're quick and dirty. If I didn't want to do this, I could go to Home Depot, because I know they happen to sell them, and I could buy a plexiglass board, 11 by 14, which is a little bigger than this. And I can write anything I want on it, and I have an eye gaze board for about $3. Okay? Now you can get on the internet and you can find places that are selling some fancy schmancy boards, and if that works for you, fantastic. I'm cheap, I don't have a lot of money. So I tend to do it the easy way. But these are some ways of being able to communicate with your eyes with low tech. It's not either or. You don't say, I'm either going to use this stuff or I'm going to use the really cool computer stuff. It's and. Because if you think about it, we all use multiple methods of communication. Okay, and I'm not even getting into the email, texting, phone, internet thing. Okay, I'm just talking when we're communicating face-to-face with people, we use different ways of doing it. So now I want to show you an E-Tran type of communication. This is a way of taking something that's fairly small and being able to communicate a ton of things with it.
This is a speak book. It's a simple communication device for people who can't talk or use their hands. Patrick here designed it. Patrick realised that there was a real need for a cheap, low-tech speech tool that could be used in
hard to hear?
situations where a high-tech one couldn't or wasn't available at all. Here's how.
I don't think I have an audio plug here. And unfortunately, I think my volume is up all the way, but give me just a second to find it on this particular computer.
Check the volume.
Yeah, yeah, that's all the way up.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
It is all the way up. Gonna see if I pick this up, if it picks up the speakers a little bit better. And I can also talk it out loud a little bit for you.
How it works. You sit about 3 feet apart and hold the book up between you, so you
So you sit about 3 feet apart and hold the book up between you,
can see each other's eyes through the hole in the middle.
so you can see each
Then
other's
you look at the
eyes
front.
through the hole in the middle.
Phrase you want to say, followed by the circle the same colour as the stripe your phrase is written on. Patrick is
Okay, so you're looking at the phrase that you want to say, followed by the circle that's the same color.
looking at this corner, followed by the blue circle. You must mean to say, "Hello, David."
So he looked at
Hello,
that
Patrick.
corner and the
Speak book is
blue.
laminated, so you
And
can
I'm
write
gonna-
on it using a non-permanent
I'm gonna
white-
take this back a little bit so that you can see it.
Hello, Patrick. Speak book is laminated, so you followed by the blue circle. You must
Okay, so what he did was he looked up at this corner here, where it says, "Hello, David," and there are 4 messages there. So how do we know which one? Well, then he looked at the blue circle, so that says, I want the message that's blue in this box, okay? And then his companion answered him, "Hello, Patrick."
mean to say, "Hello, David." Hello, Patrick. Speak book is laminated, so you can write on it using a non-permanent whiteboard marker.
So they're saying that it's laminated so that you can write on it and create your own stuff. And I have conveniently brought 4 of mine here so that we can play with them. And it's got some that I've written on. And lots that I haven't. And the idea is that both sides look the same. So I see the mirror image of what you see. So if "Hello, David" were here, it would be on this side for me because I'd have to see where you're looking. So they're the mirror image on side to side. And what this is essentially doing is saying that I have 16 possible messages on one sheet of paper by using this color coding technique. So it would be very hard for me to put 16 different things here and have you be able to differentiate them just by moving your eyes, because they'd be too close together for somebody to really figure that out. But when you throw in the color combination, it makes a huge difference. And the fact that it's blank means you make up your own categories and your own messages. Whatever it is that's important to you.
When you first get a speak book, most of the pages are blank. You fill them in to build up a set of easily accessible phrases which are tailored to your own needs. If you
So when you first get a speak book, it's blank for the most part so that you can build up your own set. And he's showing you how you just take a marker and you write on it.
make a mistake or change your mind, just wipe it off with a damp cloth.
Just wipe it off
Down
if
the
you
edge
make
of
a
the book
mistake.
are a series of tabs. When you get the book, most of these are blank, apart from the one that says home and the one that says spell. You always
So this is mine and I've done some writing on it. But these are brand new. I haven't cut out the bottom of them yet. They have tabs on the bottom for you to write in categories. And you flip to the category and you have messages.
Where would you buy those?
These are available online for free. The company is called Speakbook. The website is speakbook.org. Speakbook.org. The video is there too. The only thing I will tell you is that it's a paper printout. Okay, so you essentially have to take it and print it and copy it back to back and laminate it and bind it and cut it. Okay, so if you got somebody in your family who's good with projects, this is a really good one for them because it takes about an hour with a good X-Acto knife. What I found, where they tell you that you can download it or give the file to your local whoever does printing, I find that that's a mistake because they generally mess it up. Okay, what I do is I just print it in color and I make it back to back so that I don't have to worry about them getting it in the wrong order. And then I take it to my copy shop and I tell them I want it laminated and bound. And then I take it home and me and my X-Acto knife, we cut it out. You can have the shop do it for you. They charge by the cut. There's a lot of cuts. Remember, I'm cheap. And I have an X-Acto knife.
Start on the home page. We filled this one in to show you how to use it.
So this is an example of their filled-in homepage, just to show us how to use it. So notice that there are some things in, I'm going over the video because I know you can't all hear it in the back, so I'm just telling you what it says instead. There are some things in capital letters, and those are the things that are going to be on these tabs for different categories. And there are some things in small letters, meaning that's a message that I want to say right now.
Patrick is looking top right, followed by pink. Tell them what the home page is for. Okay, Speakbook has 8 blank pages, a spell page, and a home page. The idea is that you write the 7 phrases you use the most on the home page.
So you write the 7 phrases that you use the most on the home page, whatever those may be. Thank you, I love you, get out, Xanax, bathroom, scratch my nose, whatever they may be. Are you serious? Look in the refrigerator, whatever. Figure out your own homes, your own lives, whatever works for you. And then you write them in. So that's what he's doing, he's starting to write them in on these pages.
It's the page that you always start on. Also, on 8 of the coloured strips, you write words that act as links to the other blank double pages. On this one, those are the ones we've written in capital letters.
So these are
These
the
should be
links.
the parts of your life that require a more in-depth set of phrases most often.
So he has
Each page
drinks,
has
and there's
room
a
for
lot of
14
things that he
different
wants to say
phrases.
with drinks on there.
Here's how that works in practice. Home page. Bottom left,
So he looks
blue.
here, and
Drinks.
then blue.
So I
meaning he
turn
wants
to the
go
drinks page. Patrick has chosen this corner